how do you go about this with your seller? I know you went to real estate school and you probably went through all these steps, how to do it, what's the best way. We're not talking about that today. You already know that. But there's a method to the madness, how to communicate this to a seller that is, let's say, not cooperative. They think the price that they have in their head is the price. So from a marketing perspective, how do we win the seller? What approach should we use?
Yeah, the pricing strategy is always tricky. Most sellers have a number in their head, and it's usually higher than what the market will bear. But I think for this conversation, we're going to focus on you explaining the marketing and sales process and how that fits in with the pricing strategy that you have. You have your pricing strategy, and you need to be able to make a case for that, and it'll be much stronger if you can communicate, this is how we're going to go to market with this thing. And so we're going to break down that process, it's called a full funnel process, all the way from the top of the funnel awareness down through building trust and awareness in the market, all the way down to getting some offers.
Now, how you would approach the pricing here is through awareness. And the first tools that you have in your hand as a realtor is to run a CMA report, have it in hand, so that you're not just talking based off of your market experience, but you're also using data facts to tell him, hey, this home down the street sold within maybe a 6 months of frame, and it sold for this much. It's not the exact same square footage as your home, but maybe it has more bedrooms. That's why the price was a little bit higher. Maybe it had a pool. There's a lot that goes into pricing. It's not something that it's set in stone. So there's features of the home that comes with the home that could affect that. So knowing how to communicate this and being prepared with facts about that strategy is one way to create awareness. Now, when it comes to trust, most sellers have a set price in their head. So how do you win their trust? By maybe quoting a number that may not be their number. How do you win their trust, Steve?
I think you start with showing them the CMAs and the comparative market analysis,
Mm-hmm.
and coming up with a market number. And now what some realtors and price strategists will do is start just below that, right?
Yeah.
So that you get lots of offers, you get lots of attention in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to create some frothiness, right?
Yeah.
Some activity. And you can always negotiate from there and take competing bids.
Yeah.
But by convincing the seller to go in a little bit below the market number, that's going to put you in a good negotiating position.
Because then you're not like everyone else that is going for that same strategy, which is pricing based on what the seller tells you. Yes, you're serving them, but by going deep and figuring out what is working and what has worked over the years when it comes to pricing, that would be really a good way to win their trust. And also using facts. Have you listed listings in the past that looked like his when it comes to pricing? There was a price that you agreed upon and went to market with. It was slightly below what is currently on the market, and just showing proof with the offers that you got. You don't have to go into details, of course, because of the privacy issues, but I think that's a good way to win trust, by also proving that you've tried this before, or even it may not be your listing. It could be another listing that you've been scouting in the area that you probably missed, but you looked at how it was priced. So arming yourself with all this data and facts can win the trust for this seller.
Now, the other thing I think that will win their trust is breaking down your process, proving to them and detailing for them, this is how we're going to market and sell your home.
Yeah.
So we find that too many realtors will get the listing and then take some pictures, some even with their phone.
Yeah.
Maybe don't invest in video, and you post it on the MLS. You do everything you're supposed to with detailing the features of the house
Yeah.
and the details on the MLS listing. Yes, but what else? You need to detail more to the seller than just the bare minimum, right?
Can I give you an example? Because I know we're gonna move on to the second point. But there's a client that we had, I remember, and we asked them, how do you market your listings? Because when we get on a consultation, we ask all these questions, like what is your approach, so that we know how to build up on that, improve it, or even maybe 10x it. And this realtor said that they only shoot videos and professional photographies for listings starting from $1 million and above. And for the ones that are not within that price range, let's say it's a $150,000 apartment to maybe 500-ish, then they would just take pictures with their phone. Yes, phones are great nowadays, but you need to have a uniform approach to that, because if you have $1 million listing or a $500,000 listing, and you do a shoddy job on the $500 one, that could have been a gateway to more bigger listings, and you're gonna the person that is gonna refer you to the next client is gonna show them what you did for them, and it just doesn't look the part. Imagine that. So you're killing a future sale by limiting marketing efforts for a listing, because it's not a bigger commission at the end of the day for you, you know?
Right. So act as if, no matter what the price point is,
Yeah.
whether it's a mobile home or
Yeah.
whether it's the Playboy Mansion,
Yeah.
act as if and give it you a full marketing effort. So
Yeah.
let's talk about that marketing effort. Where do we start? On top of, we're going to assume now there's a baseline here. You already did the photos, the listing details that
Yeah.
went on the MLS.
Mhm.
And let's assume, Floyce, that you have a videographer. A
Yeah.
lot of our clients do. They have a
Mhm.
videographer.
Yeah.
And they come out and they do the usual shots. They'll put a drone up in the air and they'll push through the rooms and deliver a 2.5 minute or so video, maybe one for the MLS and one branded one, maybe even a third that's unbranded that they can share with
Mhm.
other realtors in their office. What else do we have our clients do above and beyond that?
We are very big on storytelling. Don't get a videographer just because they tell you they do videos and they show you proof that they've done real estate videos. It's what kind of real estate videos? Is it the videos that everyone else is doing in the area, in the profession, or are they videos that stand out, that tell a story, that evoke an emotion, that you feel after watching that video like you want to go to that home, you want to see it for yourself because of how this was packaged, and the efforts that you put into the story of that home are going to pay off. Because if I'm a seller, if I'm a buyer watching you from Manhattan, I want to move down to Miami, let's say Brickell area, and you have packaged this. It's a mixed use. Let's say it's a mixed use apartment that has cafes, on the lower floor, and then above it's apartments all the way to the rooftop where you have amenities like pools. You have tennis courts indoors, tennis court. It's you don't have to leave your apartment to go anywhere because everything is catered to you. So how you package that listing with video is really, really important, and you're gonna get calls because people already, they feel like they were there with you because of how you told that story of that property and who it was for.
Right. So storytelling
Yeah.
Yes, this is the one thing that we try to get our clients to do, because we find most listing agents aren't thinking in terms of storytelling. What's the story of this property? And if you think about the storytelling structure, remember when you learned it in 3rd grade or 4th grade and they were breaking it all down with the characters, what did you always start with? Setting.
Yeah.
The setting, Floyce, right?
Yeah.
So the one thing that we see with a lot of listing agents is they don't start with the setting. And if you watch the top listing agents like Ryan Searhan, what they do is they always start with what?
The establishing
area.
the
The
area.
establishing shot of
Yeah.
the community that it's in. Is it downtown? Is it uptown? Is it out in the country?
Yeah.
You want to start with probably the drone shots, the aerials, right?
Yeah.
And making in filmmaking, they call that the establishing shot. Start there. Where put me in the setting first.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Then come to the ground, the traffic patterns. What's the vibe? What is it? Is it a lot of noise? Is it quiet? Like, make me feel like I'm in the street with you, walking towards the apartment building, accessing the lobby. How easy it is, the elevator. You know, how they look. Like, take me there with you. And this is bringing us now to the next topic of today, which is reporting, weekly seller reporting. After you've done the story with the video, right?
Well, I want to back up one more piece here, if you will. So the storytelling, that's something that we find our listing agents aren't thinking about. And before that, this is a little bit of a sensitive subject, but who is it for? Now, you can't steer. I know we don't want to do steering. But every top listing agent that is really good at marketing, like Ryan Searhan, knows who his ideal buyer is for that property.
Because not every property is the same.
It could be internal, okay? But it informs how you do that storytelling. You're going to tell that story for a particular audience. So as the listing agent, you should walk the property, you should know the area, you should be looking at the comparables,
understand the demographics,
understand, again, got to be careful with steering, but in your head, you should understand
who it appeals to,
who this appeals to.
Yeah. All right. So with all that done, remember to always add to your MLS listing video. This speaks volume. I don't need to go back into that. But now, after we've done those front-facing marketing effort,
now reporting
in the back end, what do we do with all this data that we are gathering? So weekly seller reporting. And according to my notes here, the first thing that you should do after you do video, please try and put some money behind the listing video, some advertising, so that you can get data. You can understand the traffic that is coming to that listing. Who is it attracting? What questions are you being asked? What engagement is it creating on social media? And this would be very, very useful for that weekly seller report. We encourage this a lot so that you are not being chased by the seller to give them an update. You're meeting them every Friday on a call, on a Zoom, and sharing your screen and saying, I boosted this on Facebook and we got this amount of views. We got this amount of comment. I shared it with my friends and family. I took a few screenshots of the text messages that I got from them saying what they like about the home. So all this is necessary feedback for the seller so that he's prepared. He understands the activity his listing is getting, and come down maybe a month down the line, he's not going to ask you, what did you really do with my listing? I haven't had anything from you. What is happening? You do not want that coming from your client. Steve?
And I want to put a finer point on this advertising, because we feel way too few listing agents do this. And we want to make the case for why you should be advertising all of your listings, from a mobile home right up to a mansion. Several benefits to the client and to you. You might think, well, your chances of getting an actual closing from the advertising is low. And you're right. You shouldn't go into it expecting that it's going to convert into an actual buyer, but it might. You don't know until you put it out there. But you now have data, as Floyce pointed out, that you can show your client, and that data can inform the rest of your marketing and sales strategy.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, it benefits you because you are now warming up the algorithm. You should do this on your own Facebook or social media or Google ad account, by the way. And you're going to, quote, warm up the algorithm, meaning the algorithm is learning by your ads, running your ads, who your ideal audience is. These algorithms are run by AI now. They're very smart at targeting. So you have to run ads to get that warmed up. So it's benefiting you. And then thirdly, you're getting more reach and getting more exposure for you and your brand, right?
Yeah.
Now the next person is going to see that and think, oh, I saw this. Look how they listed this home. That's how I should sell my home.
And by doing all these things, you build trust by sharing these reports with the seller every week. You also reduce conflict because they're not going to be coming to you and say, hey, you didn't say nothing. Why did you not say we're not getting traffic? I could have put some money down for advertising. And also it shows transparency, you know? And I think this also helps justify pricing adjustment with data. You will say this has sat on the market for 60 days. We haven't had any offers. We did everything we could. We staged. We did open houses. The home is in a nice location, let's say. So this explore all the options, and then work your way backwards and start adjusting one at a time, or even do a drastic adjustment on multiple things, and see what what comes out of it. On to the next point for today. We are going to also look at knowing your avatar. We already talked about this when we were talking about storytelling, but go deep. I know
we
this
talked
is your
about this
area.
first. I jumped ahead, but for me, I always think about this first. This is where I start. I always say start with your audience and work backwards from there. Because you have to understand who it is that you're speaking to in order to craft your content and your strategy and your campaigns. So, like we said, be aware of steering and regulations, but really try to understand who and imagine who would buy this property and find value in it, more value in it, this person than that person.
I have in my notes about the story about your dad's home in like a minute. Tell us what worked.
We had a home in the family trust, my grandfather's home, that was in probate, needed to be sold, and we found it was a very unique property. It was a turn of the century home. It was built in 1900, so it wasn't for everybody, but it was just outside of Washington, D.C., and it was actually two lots combined into one, and it had some unique features that only a certain type of buyer would find valuable. And that feature ended up being an alleyway in the back of the property that led to it, and an old abandoned garage that was all the way back on the back part of the property by the alleyway. So the person that ended up buying it had his own auto mechanic business. So for him, it was perfect. He could bring all of his cars in, load them up in the back, and then convert that back garage into his work area. Another, let's say a white collar worker with a family wouldn't find that value in that property. They would want a newer property,
move-in ready,
more amenities. Wouldn't be a good fit for this particular buyer. It was a perfect fit.
And this brings us to the next point for discussion today: is staging and media. We touched a little bit on media, but is staging worth it as a marketer?
Well, we believe it is, because you want to present the property. It really is a setup for your media, and media is leverage. So you want to be able to leverage media for to be able to market this property for your seller in the best possible way, and preparing it with staging. If you can, if there's not an occupant already in there, but even if there is, you still want to stage it up and clean it up as best you can. If it's empty, and it's totally empty, do you pay the extra money to have it staged?
Mhm.
I mean, that's a decision you need to make for your budget, but we believe it's very beneficial. Yeah.
I see a lot of, think about it as realtors, why we, especially if you're starting out, why we love to lean on like new constructions is because they have a model home that we can shoot. We can show the couches, we can show the kitchen, we can show the appliances that are already installed. The ones that are, the homes that are listed for sale and they're not ready yet are not as appealing as that model home. So you're telling the buyer, this could be, imagine yourself in this space. This is how this could look at the end of the day once you get the keys and it's ready for you. So this is a good strategy for pre-sale for developers. You can do the same with vacant listings that the owners have moved out. Now, if your owner is still living in the home, if the seller, you can work with him. You can work with the interior decor, design decor expert, and have them come in, consult with them. You don't even have to buy new furniture per se. It's just understanding how to move things around, not so that it doesn't feel cluttered and it doesn't feel so personalized, so that whoever comes in, either through an open house or through a listing showing, they can feel themselves in there. They can imagine themselves living in that home.
You know what else I feel is underutilized, Floyce? And a lot of our viewers might be thinking, well, I don't have the price point to afford, the full staging, the practical staging.
Yeah.
Is virtual staging.
Yeah.
If you have an empty property and a low price point, you can get it virtually staged now, Floyce, for a really affordable price.
Yeah.
And they'll go in and add furniture in video, or certainly in photos is pretty easy, but now they can even do it in video, right, with AI.
Yeah. And then but you gotta, like, do a disclaimer and say this is virtually staged, so that when people come in, it's not a shock. Right. But the beauty of it is the virtual staging prepares them for the future. Like
Their
this
imagination.
is the imagination. And when they come in and it's a blank canvas, then it's even better, because they can say, oh, I saw it was staged like this, but I can have a couch here instead of having, a bar. I can add the pantry. I can knock down this wall, add the pantry because I have a bigger family, something like that. So it still pays.
That's a great way to leverage AI too in 2025. And the cost of that has come way down, right?
Yeah.
I've been hearing about virtual staging for a decade, but now it's, I think, more affordable than ever and doable than ever.
Yeah. Now, finally, our last talking point is post-sale reflections. I don't think this is done a lot. I think, especially if you're in a busy market, some of you probably just don't know it, but you're on to the next sale. You're on to the next sale, on to the next.
Postmortem.
Yeah, the postmortem. But the postmortem is super important, because especially if you've been doing those weekly reporting with the seller, you're going to look back. Let's say you sell on the 3rd month. You're going to look at all this data that you gathered. And if you've been documenting also behind the scenes, like driving to the listing appointment, the day when the movers maybe came in, the day when it was pressure washed, the day the landscapers came in, like even with the staging, like you can look back. Please document your processes. We are very big on that. Document everything, because you can look back and find things that you missed, things that you can improve.
Well, what you can do now too, we're starting to do this in our business, is to just talk into your phone as you're doing your day, and then feed that into the AI, and it will organize everything into checklists and documentation and SOPs, right?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you're doing this post-mortem, you got it, but it's post-sale reflection to improve. to create a better product for the next seller, for the next buyer. You are very informed and you grow with the market. Really, you don't stay stagnant. What worked in 2020, where we couldn't, when we couldn't go anywhere, is not working today, because today we can go. We can come to those showings, physically. We can come to your open house and see all these features. So that is super important to improve your business. And also, do not be scared of advertising. Try it. Even if it's $10, you're collecting data. Right, Steve?
Right. So to review, we would say what? One, think about your avatar, who it's for. Number two, storytelling.
Yeah.
What is the story of this property and the community that it's in? And number three, advertise.
Yeah. And you can, with that, when you advertise, remember, you gotta have the price right, because that counts. If you have the wrong
strategy.
if you have the wrong pricing strategy, that means no matter how many efforts you put into the ads, it will tell you. The data is never wrong. It will tell you. So
I think what we see is most of our clients are pretty good. They understand pricing strategy.
Yeah.
They might struggle with it, with stubborn sellers and things like that.
Yeah.
But it's these other things that we talked about, the avatar, the storytelling, the advertising that we see. If you're doing this, you're already doing more with your listing than 99% out of 100 other listing agents. Would you say?
Yes. It stand out.
You will stand out.
Don't blend.
Yeah.
Stand out always. That always works. It never fails. So close us out.
Okay, so that's it. We're coming up on our time. We go live. Is it every day?
Every day.
We go live every day talking
Yes.
about real estate marketing for you, the realtor, team leader, and brokerage or broker owner.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions, you can
put them in the chat.
Put them in the chat below,
Or
and
book a
join
call.
us on this live, or book a call and we'll talk about this. We are Chime Nerds, chimenerds.com, and Just Video It, justvideoit.com.
Thank you so much for watching. We will see you or catch you on the next live. Thank you. All right.